Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode number 10 of the Substitute podcast with double digits. It's going strong. And this week I'm joined by Nicholas, or as you might know him, Pokemon underscore Monroe 001 on Instagram. So if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi there. My name's Nicholas. I am Pokemon Monroe, and yeah, very pleased to be on the channel. Thank you very much for having me.
That's great. It's great to have you. Thanks for coming on. So I'll start the podcast as I start with most guests, which is what is the first Pokemon or collectible thing that you bought with your own money, whether it's as an adult or as a kid with your pocket money or whatever.
Yeah, so I have been thinking about this one, and it's a bit like one of your previous members. I was quite fortunate, and my parents quite often normally got stuff for me. But I think it was a Neo One pack I bought my local high shop in Leamington High Street in the south of England. And I think it was that one because I remember the first pack I pulled, part pack I opened, I pulled a Lugia, um, Lugia holographic, which was, you remember something like that all the way through. I actually got that card graded a few years ago and it came back an 8, which was, so I always cherished that card very much. So I think that was the first pack I ever bought with my own pocket money and quite a memorable one as well.
So I have to ask, you say that you grew up in like, the south of England. How did you end up in the Highlands? Just
Well, no, I didn't grow up I grew up in the Highlands.
oh, okay.
My parents divorced when I was about 9, I think. My mother moved down to the south of England, but my father stayed up in the north of Scotland. So I went to school in the south of England for quite a long period of my life. So I was quite often around with my mother more than my dad most of the time. So yeah, that's hence that I don't have a Scottish accent.
Yeah, something like because obviously I've sent things to you before, and it's very up north. But then when I heard you speak, I was
Yeah,
like not particularly Scottish sounding. So
no, no, no. I'm north of Inverness, but I've got absolutely no Scottish. Apparently, I used to have one when I was a little child, but English school kicked it out of me when I was before I could really develop it, I guess.
yeah, he'll do that.
um, yeah,
So you
uh,
you said that you graded your cards when like the Lugia you packed when you were a kid. So
yeah.
I mean I checked your Instagram and you started it sort of December last year, but you've been collecting for years before that, right?
Yeah, well, I actually, so I got into the hobby 4 years ago. I actually did have an Instagram account prior to this one, and I deleted it for. I think I was getting so much of these mails from some of the people in the community that were just I got a bit overwhelming. Quite really not very nice messages, and I just cancelled the whole thing. And I actually decided to start to get to do it again. Actually, the second time I've done it, it's been much better. I haven't had any hate mail or anything like that at all. Actually, it's been a much. I can't. I mean, I can't remember half the stuff that was sent to me really, but um, if any at all, I just completely blocked it out of my head. But no, ever since I've got back into it, the community's been fantastic, and I've gained, got lots of followers, and enjoy sharing everything that I'm collecting and buying. And it's all been organic as well. I haven't promoted anything, which has made it, feel, really good. So yeah, and I got into collecting about 4 years ago, and I had no idea about grading or anything like that. And this was about the time I broke up with my ex girlfriend and met my current wife actually, and everything sort of got really good and started collecting and getting more involved in it and much happier. And next thing I knew, I was grading cards at PSA and buying graded cards and getting really into the whole thing. And yeah, it's been a good 4 years getting into the hobby again.
So as someone who was grading cards years ago, how you must more than most people absolutely hate the wait times now.
Well, yeah. I mean, the first time I got first batch I sent off took 3 months, but I can't. The other batches actually did take a while. They took, I think, one took 7 months, and then I think it was just around the time when I started grading more was when it really did start to um, pick up quite a bit the wait time. And the last lot I sent actually it took a year, and they arrived literally just the beginning of lockdown last year, and they took about a year to arrive. I don't know whether it made a difference with the company I was getting them graded through, because it wasn't Ludkins or Graded Gem or anything. It was just a sort of chat. I can't remember who was it again. I can't remember. Still, I can't remember what it was called. But yeah, it took ages to get back. I don't really mind the wait, to be honest. They're not going anywhere. The only thing that does annoy me is that, I mean, especially PSA, because I've got a lot of cards of them and some quite valuable ones, is they've upped the insurance or something. Like when they post them back, if your card gets a certain grade and it's worth so much, you now have to pay, an excess amount to get it back. And I've got 103 cards at PSA, and things like Crystal Lugia, Crystal Celebi, and Cora Muse, and all these other vintage cards, and it's sort of like, well, I wonder what the bill's going to be when they come back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got over 200 cards at PSA at the moment, but like most of mine aren't too expensive, so hopefully it won't be so bad. But yeah, they recently, well, I say recently, but obviously they're closed. They actually are supposed to open up again slightly tomorrow, as we're
yeah,
recording, which will be, well, it's the first anyway. So I watched an interview with Nat Turner, who's the guy who owns it now,
yeah.
and this was a couple of weeks ago, and he said that they still plan to reopen some services on July the 1st. So
Okay.
it'll be interesting to see what they open. I don't think the bulk one is gonna open because
No.
it's so far behind. It's still in like September, the complete through date. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it'd be stupid to open that up because it's just going to get flooded again. Because I mean, people that use the standard like myself, are those that just don't care. They're quite happy to wait a year or two for them to come back, so they're going to bombard them anyway. So yeah, the right decision not to have that open. Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, you don't want to be waiting that long for your cards if they opened up again. I just hate to think, like, I can imagine it being 3 year waiting list for some people or something if it opened up again, because there's just so much bulk with them. I can't remember how many cards it was they had. Was it 10 million or something? I can't remember. It was quite a lot. It was a huge amount of cards.
I think in the interview they said that the reason they had to close is not because they couldn't. Well, it's partly because they couldn't keep up with grading, but it's that they literally couldn't keep up with opening parcels fast enough. So they were getting so many parcels delivered every day that they couldn't open them all over the course of one working day. And then they get more delivered the next day. So
I didn't know that. Oh, then
yeah,
imagine all that tape that they have to deal with.
yeah. They said
There's bad enough hearing from Black Label, and they probably don't get anywhere near as much, and that irritated them enough. Imagine the amount of
yeah.
sellotape going to PSA, having to open all that. Yeah.
I think he said something like they received 3 months worth of cards in like 3 days, like 3 months
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
normally get in.
No, I remember them saying that. Yeah, yeah. The 3 months worth of cards in 3 days. That is just. And apparently a lot of them were Marvel cards, and not necessarily Pokemon, more Marvel and sports cards, of course, which we know is a whole different ball game to Pokemon.
Yeah,
But yeah, I heard Marvel was quite a big ban of the submission that came in.
it's interesting. Yeah, I it's probably a good
Could
time
be wrong.
to ask the question like, do you diversify out of Pokemon at all? Like, do you collect sports or
I don't do
anything
sports
else?
cards. I tempted because I've always, as a child, I loved Dragon Ball Z. But I don't have any Dragon Ball Z. I did actually message PSA Pimp for some advice, and I've had a look, and I might just buy a couple of sealed booster boxes and just keep them sealed or something. Because I just don't know the cards. But if I buy a couple of boxes from a few years ago, I might just keep them sealed or something.
Yeah,
Because all I really know is Pokemon. I mean, even when I got back into the hobby, I suddenly all these generations were, um, I'm Gen 1 and Gen 2, and Gen 2 is my what I like, but even Gen 3 I barely know at all. Um, but yeah, Pokemon is the one that I know the most, and like any collector, people know that the cards that people want the most are generally from Gen 1 and Gen 2, which is helpful when you are a Gen 1, Gen 2 person, because yeah, I mean, you know what people are going to want.
yeah. I find it interesting because Gen 3 is my favorite, but
Mm-hmm.
when you look at like chronologically, like Generation 3 sets, they're the original EX sets and stuff like that. But the most
Yeah,
expensive Pokemon in all those sets are still Gen 1 and 2 Pokemon.
yeah, yeah.
So,
I'm getting a bit sick of. Actually, you probably look at my Instagram. I don't own a single graded Charizard. I just, I'm just fed up with, it's one of the things I don't like about these modern sets is if there's no Charizard, it's generally a rubbish set. If there's a Charizard, it's still a rubbish set because all people want to do is get the Charizard. I mean, the only set that for me is the best by far is Hidden Fates because, I mean, how many chase cards are there in Hidden Fates? You've got you've got the evolutions, you've got Mewtwo, you've got Charizard, of course, you've got Greninja, Lucario, and then you've all even got the baby shinies like Charmander, Charmeleon, Eevee, Lucario, and Riolu are the baby shiny. I mean, they're all big hitters. It's one of those sets that you can, you've got such a good chance of getting a decent card. And yet, all the new sets. Like I've just opened 4 boxes of Eevee Heroes today, and I've got one proper full up. And I'll never buy another box ever again because it's so hard to pull something good. It's not you lose. It's you don't feel like you get anything out of it. Whereas if you open Hidden Fates tins, I mean, I feel like every Hidden Fates tin I've opened, I just have always liked it no matter what, even if I don't pull anything decent. Because I know that the odds are still pretty good if you get something decent.
yeah, I mean, I've been quite vocal on the fact that there's too many secret rares now, like
Yeah,
nowadays. But like I wouldn't mind if there were more secret, like if there's lots of secret rares because they are cool. If they upped the pull rates, like if they went to something like Shining Fates has, where like there's a pretty decent chance that you get a baby shiny and something else good in a pack. Or
yeah,
I had a pack where I got like a full art Rillaboom VMAX and the Rainbow Alcremie, and like that's really cool to pack.
yeah, yeah,
But then I guess you have to strike a balance between the chase cards being rare enough that they're valuable enough that people want to chase them,
yeah. No,
and also
absolutely.
make
No,
them,
that's true.
yeah, make them
That's true.
obtainable enough that someone can actually pack them.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the problem that
Um,
Shining Fates had, really, is that everyone's packed every good card they want from it now,
yeah,
if they really
I'm
wanted to.
not a huge fan of Shining Fates. I think that's just because I'm a Gen 1, Gen 2 person. I think it's if you're a new generation, if you like more the new gen stuff, then that's a good set. But if you're like me and you like the old school Pokemon, then Hidden Fates is the ultimate set, really. Especially as it's all shiny Pokemon, which everyone loves, of course.
Yeah, like Shining Fates is fun to open, but I think you always left at the end with kind of like a feeling of like, was it really worth opening at all when the cards that you pack really aren't worth that much?
Yeah,
Like I think I had the best ETB of all time when I opened the Shining Fates one. I got 2 Eevee promos instead of one,
yeah,
which was a good start. And then
yeah,
I got like Rillaboom Shiny VMAX. I got the Suicune that was worth like £30 at the time.
yeah.
Um,
That's a good card.
and then like loads of other stuff. But just because the print quality was so bad and like the chance of pulling good stuff is so high, like it's cool, but
Yeah,
it's
the
not as
print quality for EV Heroes is really bad. Most of the stuff I pull is all off center.
Chilling Rain's also really bad from what I've seen. I've only opened one. I opened one pre-release box of Chilling Rain, and I was
Yeah,
like, yeah, not really too fussed. I'm a bit kind of burnt out on new Pokemon sets. Like
yeah.
even when they announced the celebration set, I was like, the cards are really cool, but I know it's going to be a struggle to get them. And when I
Well,
open them, I'll just be like, oh, this is fun for a bit, and then
Yeah, I mean, when Chilling Reign was announced and I saw the cards, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to get me that." And then what's the other
Of-
Evolving
yeah,
Skies was announced. I was like, right, I'm not going to get Chilling Reign. I'm going to get Evolving Skies. And then Celebrations was announced. Like, right, which well, I don't know. Because I mean, it's got the Gold Star Umbreon, hasn't it? The new the Celebrations set. They're reprinting the Gold Star Umbreon.
yeah, that was a great move because I mean, like
Oh,
for
I want.
most people have never packed that card. I mean,
Yeah,
even when it was freely available in Pop Series packs, it was still basically unpackable because it was so
yeah,
rare.
yeah.
I really like.
I'll probably.
Yeah, Kara.
Sorry. I'll probably actually not buy any boxes and just buy that card. That will just save the hassle because the odds of pulling it are probably going to be so slim. Um, yeah, I'll probably just buy the card and just call it.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think that's where like, especially people who you know value collecting as much, like collecting the cards they want as much as opening. I think we're going to go
yeah,
towards buying singles in the future.
yeah.
Because
That's generally what I've done most of the time. I mean, I think the set that I have opened the most is Hidden Fates. But I mean, generally, I normally buy single cards, and I normally buy graded cards. And I obviously when you've seen, I quite like all the Japanese stuff with the promos and um, they're just the artwork on them is just fantastic. And you know, PSA 10, you can get PSA 10 Japanese promos from 2001 for £100, which and that the population report's what 30, 40. Yeah, I mean, it's such a great market to get into because it's not compared to other cards that you buy. It's cheap really in a way. I mean, it's not cheap; it's expensive, but compared to other cards, it's cheap.
it's weird, isn't it, that like you can get cards from like Japanese cards that have to make it all the way from Japan, then be in like good enough condition to get a 10, and then be
Yeah,
graded, and then you know all throughout the course of like 20 years, and it's like 4 times less than an Umbreon that was released like 2 weeks ago, and you can
yeah,
freely buy the boxes. It's kind of crazy to me, but I
yeah.
guess that's just the way it
But
is.
yeah, I mean, it is the fact that the cards that were printed in English were so bad quality that it's just so hard to get a good grade, isn't it? That's the only
Yeah,
reason they're expensive when they get a high grade. Because at the end of the day, you're paying for a card that's just happens to be in good condition.
yeah. It's I've I think that people, especially like set collectors and things like that, will there'll be a big shift towards just buying graded cards now because you have to wait so
Yeah,
long to get things graded, especially if the card that you want isn't like really valuable.
yeah,
Um,
no, of course.
if you wanna, it used to be that if you really wanted a card, you would buy it raw, get it graded, and like 6 months later you'd have it. But now,
Yeah,
you buy it raw, and then you grade
yeah,
it, and it takes 12 to 15 months to get it back. So
yeah. Well, I am quite excited. I mean, I hope they do well. The new grading companies in the UK, because I mean, it's very subjects of people. The same people devoted to PSA and Beckett and CGC, aren't they? I mean, those are the big grading companies. But it's like anything that happens, you've got to start somewhere. And I mean, whoever comes up on top, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, obviously, you know who I grade with, but it will be interesting to see what happens in the next year or two with the grading with these English grading companies.
yeah, no, I agree. Like, eventually, a few of them will have to go, or like just either die off or go into doing other things. Like
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
heard people talking about companies grading like sealed products, like uh, booster boxes and theme decks and stuff like that,
yeah,
which would kind of make sense. If someone did that successfully, they'd be very successful, I think, in the UK. Because
yeah. No, I'm surprised that no one's done that yet.
I think it's, I
And
think
it would
yeah,
stop. I tell you what, it would do. It would stop people opening booster boxes.
yeah, and that would make singles more expensive as well.
Yeah, well, it would. But I mean, it'd be interesting because I mean, Sony people would have probably not opened their boosters if they had been able to get them graded.
I think it's just a matter of technology because like most,
Yeah.
I mean, if I really wanted to, I could go on to it's Alibaba, I think, and they literally will send you all of the kit you need to grade your own cards.
Mm.
Whereas you can't buy like a ready-made set or ready-made kit to like grade a booster box because you need to get custom cases made and a custom machine most likely. It's just really expensive to do, I think, and that's just the only reason that no one's done it yet.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
requires more time and effort to do it.
Yeah.
But if someone did it well, I mean, there's currently no company that does it. So if someone did it
No.
well, they would make a lot of money. You,
Yeah.
you mentioned that you like Japanese, and I've seen that you collected the McDonald's promos from 2002.
Yeah.
Um,
I've got one of the sets. There's another set from 2002. I think I've got maybe two of. I know I've got a Growlithe and a Lantern and a Mew from that set. But yeah, sorry.
yeah,
Carry on. Carry on.
and then you also collected the Japanese Neo cards as well. Um,
Yeah, Neo One,
yeah.
the first Neo set that came out. I'm trying to get those all in a 10.
So my question is basically, how do you decide which sets you want to collect? So like, is it down to the art, or is it like the Pokemon that are included, or is it something else?
Well, the Neo one was, I I was it wasn't that long ago. I realised I had because I just completed the. I'm still waiting for two of the cards to arrive in the post. I've got the Pikachu and the Totodile from the McDonald's set to arrive, and then that's the set complete in tens, which is very exciting. Took 6 months to do, but the Neo one, I was looking at my Neo cards, and I thought I've got all the expensive cards. I just need, I don't need that many more, and because I love the starters, like the Typhlosion, and that's why I had them. And obviously, Lugia is one of my favorites, and I bought that card ages ago in a 10, and I just I think also the fact that I love the artwork in Neo Genesis. I just had to try and complete it. Um, I mean, I think most I don't know. Yeah, I'm a big. I just love Neo Genesis. I guess that's pretty much why I've gone for it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Like I really like the Best of XY set, which is the Japanese set, and
Yeah,
I was quite lucky really in that I basically I bought a box of it and I really liked opening it, and then I bought more. So I intended to keep them sealed, but then I just opened them all because I can't keep anything sealed for more than like a few months.
mm.
So I sent all those to PSA just because I thought they were cool. But the set's actually become more popular in the last sort of like 12 months while they've
Yeah,
all been in at PSA. So I got quite lucky with all that they're like actually worth a lot more than I intended when I sent them. Um, but I thought that was quite funny because it's just an example of like, I sent them because I thought they were cool, and I was like, maybe if if I sent a couple of duplicates, and I was like, if they come back, I can sell them on for like grading fee plus like a tenner or whatever just to get rid of them. But now a lot of them are more valuable than I thought,
yeah,
which it
yeah,
kind of just was just like I was tempted to make a video to put on my YouTube channel about like how like people aren't talking about investing as much anymore because investing is much more difficult than it used to be. Because
no, it is a lot more difficult.
it just used to be a matter of, I mean, last year, like sort of October, November, it was literally just a matter of you buy a set when it comes out, keep it sealed for a month, and then sell it on for like 50% profit.
Yeah,
But we've come to a point now where like you were saying earlier with the they announced that Chilling Reign was coming out, and it came out, and then they immediately announced of Evolving Skies, and then 2 weeks later they announced Celebrations, the holiday set, and
yeah,
we have like the exact opposite problem than we had 6 months ago, where 6 months ago we had no product, and people had lots of like lots of money they wanted to spend, and now we have so many things coming out in the next 4 or 5 months that we kind of have to ration ourselves with what we want to buy.
yeah.
And
I mean, when I got into it, I literally could just buy what I wanted to get, um, because the prices were just um, I mean, yeah, I think I remember buying. I bought a first edition Lugia from Neo Genesis uh, for I think it was 90 quid, and it was actually when it came back a 7, which was a bit irritating because I didn't realize that the foil was scratched. But the guy was selling it as mint, and it was 90 quid. I mean, even so, even though it was in worse condition, I realized when it came back from PSA, it's still huge. You just can't do that anymore. I just can't. Yeah, I mean that's partly why I buy Japanese as well, because I mean you can't, unless you've got the money, you can't buy English unless you're happy with a PSA 5, which unfortunately I'm a bit funny about that. I just like to have things in 9s and 10s. But yeah, it's one of those things.
I also don't like. I think 8 would be my limit. Like I've got a couple of 8s, unless it doesn't matter to me. Like I was sent off my 101 Dalmatian cards to MGC, and they came back as 7s. But like I didn't care what grade they got. Like,
Yeah, no, I mean, I think also like I sent a lot of my childhood cards from the start to PSA, and I just did not care what they came back as, because I mean I'll never sell them. They came back anything from a 1 to a 9. I don't think any of them came back 10s. I sent the last of them to MGC, and I mean most of them are so beat up. I'm quite looking forward to getting a few ones definitely turning up in the post. But no, they'll stay sealed, and I'll never ever sell them. I'll just keep them in. I probably need to get another case actually for my graded cards. Not it'll just literally be a case with my childhood cards in it. And so yeah, I'm very excited to get those back. Actually, that's another thing I think which is good for I think these UK grading companies. If you've got childhood cards that you want to get slabbed, I mean, they're a great opportunity to do at such a much lower price now than PSA. Because even how much is it to grade a card at PSA standard if they open up again?
I think it was about £20 before they closed, but I'm
Yeah,
not sure if they'll keep it the same when they reopen. I imagine it might be. Well, I imagine they won't reopen the value services for probably a couple of months anyway. So
yeah. Beckett's £35 card. This is
yeah, it's like
really expensive
you paid £35 a card.
for Beckett.
Yeah, I imagine PSA will probably just try and undercut them by a little bit, maybe like £30 a card or something.
Yeah,
But then
I wouldn't be
yeah,
surprised.
but then you still have to wait at minimum a year. Whereas with a UK grading company, you can pay a tenner for each card and get it back in 2 months.
Exactly, and if it's something that's sentimental that you're not intending to sell, and you're not trying to sell it, it's just literally there, then it's worth it, because at least then it's encased. Or even, I mean, I know don't I think both MGC and what's the other one called? Pokegrade.
Yeah.
They both do bespoke. Is it bespoke casings? They literally just put them in a slab in the case for you.
Um,
Do they both do that? I can't remember.
I'm not sure. Do you mean like they just like literally put it in a slab and then just like give you a label that just?
Yeah, they'll give you a label or something or some sort. I might be wrong. I can't remember.
I
Maybe
know
it's
that
Poke.
I know that certain company. I think I think Matt Cully did with Poker Grade, where like they gave him like a special label because it was a giveaway or something.
Yeah,
So I think you can.
yeah,
I think especially I'm not sure about MGC, but I know Poker Grade you could probably pay a little bit extra and get a personalized label, which is a nice service to get.
yeah.
Like
No, that is a good service actually. It's a nice thing to have. I can't. Didn't someone do? Um, I thought I saw a proxy card in a slab.
um, probably. I mean,
Yeah.
you can buy kits now where you can slab your own cards at home.
Oh right.
Like
Okay.
I saw that advertised. Well, not advertised, but like someone showed it on their Instagram. It was like you can literally buy like this kit. It's like £30, and it comes with everything that you need to slab like 5 cards or something. I thought it was quite
Oh,
funny
really?
that you
Yeah,
could
that's quite funny.
now do it yourself.
I'm gonna be careful and start trying to copy labels, which people are doing now, which is quite. I've seen a few on eBay, fake ones
And
on eBay.
like they're not quite right, but they're close enough that if you didn't know what you were looking at, then you could be fooled.
Oh, yeah. There was one, it wasn't a fake one, but someone had a first edition PSA 10 Lugia on eBay that what's that? What's his name? Ah, dang it. He sold a Logan Paul, one of the boxers, the quite big American chap.
Oh, Pikachu.
Yes, him.
Yeah,
Yeah, he found one of the Lugias on eBay that one of his friends owned or someone he knew owned, and someone was trying to sell it under a false identity
yeah,
for like, I
that
mean, for a
happens quite a lot.
stupid like 60,000 or something. I can't remember, but anyway, it's
Yeah, unfortunately, that happens quite a lot. That's why a lot of like high-end cards they hide the serial number. I learned that like so that you can't steal the picture.
yeah,
Because obviously, if you own the card and you message someone, they would probably be more than happy to be like, what's the serial number, just so I can double check. They'd be more than happy to tell you most likely. So
mm.
yeah, it's a shame that like with anything that becomes more interesting to people and more mainstream and has more money in it, you get more fakes. But it's just the way it is, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to ask you when did I know you're supposed to be asking the questions, but when did you get back? Did you mention when you got back into Pokemon, or I
Um,
can't remember?
I have in the past, but I don't think I've ever told you about it. But like, I didn't collect Pokemon when I was a kid. Really, like
Yeah,
I had a few cards, but they were all my sister's because she's 10 years older than me. So when Pokemon came out in 1999, she was 14. So she was, could actually appreciate the cards and was a teenager. So she was relatively interested in them for a little bit, and then
yeah,
she kind of stopped caring about it, and I got like the ones that she had. Um, so I had a few of those, but I never really, they weren't mine, so I didn't really care too much. I think that I genuinely believe that I have them in my parents' house somewhere, but I've looked for them for years and I can't find them. But I decided when I was in my second year of university, which was 2014, I was looking. I can't remember what I was looking for. I think I was looking for Yu-Gi-Oh cards because I used to collect those as a kid. Um,
yeah,
I was like looking through, and I was on Chaos Cards. I remember because it was like one of the the biggest site at the time for like collectible things. And I bought a Dragon's Exalted booster box with just when one of my friends was like, you should just buy it, 'cause why not? So I bought it and I opened it, and it was really fun. So then I opened some more, and me and my housemate went halves on a Primal Clash box and a Furious Fists box and a few other like packs like that.
yeah,
And then we opened them, and they were like everything was dirt cheap at the time. It was like £80 for a booster box. Like they were well under RRP because like they just weren't really selling.
yeah,
And this was before Pokemon Go came out as well. So
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. It would have been a lot cheaper.
and then so I had those for a bit, and then I dropped off interest, and then I sold the cards that I had, most of them, um, for at the time like really good prices. I mean, even now some of them aren't worth much more. So I cashed out and used the money to buy other things, and then 2016 I bought a little bit of the Generations set because I really like that. Um, a funny story actually. The other day, my girlfriend who I live with was like, "Oh, I found some cards in a box that you gave me once." So went like for Christmas one year, I bought her like 4 packs of Generations,
All right.
and was like, because she's not really into Pokemon, but she like she humoured me and was like, "Oh, thanks, this is nice." But I made sure I bought her other stuff too, not just to be. So she opened those and she just put them in a box, and so she found them the other day, and there was like some pretty good cards from Generations that just been sitting in a box for 4 years, 5 years.
Oh, that's
Um,
good.
but yeah, so I
Yeah,
opened a bit then, and then dropped out again. Didn't really sell up as much that time because I didn't have as much stuff, so I just kept it for a bit, and then opened some Shining Legends in 2017, which was if I in hindsight I'd have opened a lot more because it was very cheap at the time, and then got properly back into it like midway through 2019, and I started I discovered that elite trainer boxes were a thing.
Yeah.
So at first I was going to try and buy and then open every one of those, but then I realized they went back to like 2016, so a lot of them are quite expensive and quite rare. So I just kind of settled on buying what I could and opening as much as I can, and then here I am now, 2 years later,
Yeah.
trying to collect every Growlithe I can.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was very lucky because I bought when I started getting into it, some of the first cards I bought were base set cards, and I bought Shadless Charizard. I bought first edition Blastoise. I managed to buy a first edition Venusaur in a PSA 8 for, I think it was 315 quid. And I mean, I basically bought every, apart from, I didn't get a first edition Charizard, but I had every single one of the starters from first edition, Shadless, Unlimited, all the way up to fourth print. And when Logan Paul happened, I actually decided that actually I wanted to start collecting other things, and I ended up actually selling them. And I mean, I do generally feel sorry for those that got caught up in the prices, but I did make a very hefty profit, and actually I was able to put some money actually into my savings, which is quite nice, which is paying off a bit of my mortgage. But at the same time, I was able to buy some gold stars and get some of the start collecting in Japanese, and to sort of almost start all over again. I did keep a few cards, of course, but I just ended up selling all my Charizards, all my Blastoises, all my Venusaurs. I don't think we'll ever see those. I mean, I sold an unlimited Zard for £3,000. I mean, you'll never see those prices. I'd be very surprised you ever see those prices again. It just
I don't think we'll see them. If we do see them, they'll be in 20, 30 years. I don't think we'll ever reach those prices anytime soon.
I mean when I saw, because I was literally looking at the prices on the card, and then one day I hadn't checked them for like 2-3 weeks, and I looked at the prices and I was like, hey, it's like, it can't be serious. People are paying 3-4 grand for an unlimited Charizard and a 9. And I was like, I mean, I had the collection. I was like, I was never really intending to sell them, but actually, I might as well, because in my head I thought those prices are going to crash, and you'll never ever get an opportunity again. And that's all. At the same time, in my head I was thinking, oh, what if they go up a bit more? So no, just sell them, get rid of them. You've had them. It's been nice to have them, but there are cards. I mean, I really wanted Gold Star Mew. I really wanted Gold Star Mewtwo. I wanted to get the Mew from Expedition and the Mewtwo from Expedition, and I mean, other things like Umbreon from Neo Discovery, all those cards, and because I sold the base set, I was able to get cards like that, which I actually would much rather have had. I mean, if I'd known about them, to be fair, I probably would have bought them from the start. But you, like everybody else, when you get into the hobby, I mean, the first thing you know, as from my age, is I'm 33, so I grew up when it came out. Is you buy base set, Jungle, Fossil, and I think it was it took a while to really start to watching all the YouTube videos from Leonhardt and Rhyme Style and all that lot. Then you start to build up the knowledge. It takes a lot of time, and then suddenly you're like, oh, I really want that card. Oh, I can't afford it now because the prices are too high. Oh wait, I'll sell my unlimited Zard so I can buy that card.
Yeah, I think what you said basically is like the ideal goal, isn't it? It's like you buy something, you enjoy it for a while, and then you sell it on to do other things, and then like you said, in an ideal world, you put some of that money aside, and it can help you with like real world things.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like I know people always go on about like the chase of opening packs, but like collecting a set, like the chase of collecting the whole set is like probably the most fun part. And then once you've completed it, like you can sit there and appreciate it, but you need something else to move on to.
Yeah, I really actually be on. I need to actually probably sell some of my cards because I'm a bit of a hoarder. When I get attached to something, I really struggle to part with it. But I mean, when my PSA submission comes back, I'll have 9 Coro Mews, and I just don't need it. If you can part with 7 of them and keep 2, probably actually it's actually quite nice to probably just keep 2 and part with 7.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's loads of other duplicates I've got, and it's nice to have them. I love them, but
yeah,
yeah, I really ought to sort of really just like, all right, I need to sell you, and I need to sell you,
I mean,
and maybe
yeah.
get something else instead.
Koro Mew is a good thing to have 9 of, though. You're gonna have 9 of anything.
Uh, I absolutely adore that card. I mean, it is it's my favorite Pokemon card. It's my favorite. Probably just that, which was the Lugia Game Boy promo is my second favorite. But the Koro Mew, it's just such a stunning card. And I love the fact that it is a Japanese. It's not. I mean, I can't imagine how much that card would be if they printed it in English. It would be so expensive. I would be absolutely certain of that.
It must
And
be.
actually,
Yeah.
given the time when it was printed, it would be really hard to grade as well because it's all hollow.
Is it? It's one of the first shiny Pokemon cards, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, what it would be. Let me just see the date on it. I think it's 2001. Let me just double check.
Yeah, just trying to think whether it was before or after. Um,
Yeah, 2001. What year did Neo? Because Neo Revelations was the first set with the shiny Magikarp and shiny Gyarados, wasn't it? I
yeah,
think.
I'm not sure, but anyway, it would have been one of the first, regardless.
Yeah, yeah.
So if it was in
It's just
English, it could well be the first shiny Pokemon, and it's Mew, which is probably most people's favorite shiny from Gen
yeah,
1.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, that's hell of a doubt. Um, yeah, I mean, there are. Yeah, he is. He is the. Yeah, it is just a nice card to look at as well. Yeah. You can never have too many of those.
No, I'm I'm one of the people like I tend to just have one copy of everything, and if I have a duplicate, I will sell it on. But there are a few cards that I would like happily have multiple of. I think keeping on the Growlithe theme, it's the Legendary Collection reverse Growlithe. I'd quite happily have a few of those.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, like high grade Legendary Collection reverses are super expensive just because they scratch really easily.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's probably achievable to have more than one.
You watch the YouTubers opening them, like Leonhardt and Pokerev or whoever, and you watch whenever they pull the reverse, you can see that print line almost like 9% of the time straight away. You see that print line on it.
Yeah, that's
um, and it's not just the print line. Obviously, they can scratch easily as well. So I mean, it's such a hard card to get any of them to get a 10 in.
yeah. I own one Legendary Collection card, or one reverse, and
Yeah.
I think it's a scoop up, and I bought it off eBay for £2. That's like the only one I actually own. But
Is
it was
that is that raw or graded?
raw. It's raw. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it was so cheap that I was like, why not?
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely.
It
Well,
was
I mean, I remember buying the Koro Mews. I bought them on Amazon Prime, and they were mint, and they were 40 quid each.
yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? Considering how
Yeah,
expensive they are now.
yeah.
But
Um,
yeah, you were saying about like your favorite cards, like your Koro Mew and your Lugia. Do you have one card in your collection that like you think that people are not aware of how cool it is?
yeah,
It could be more than one.
well, yeah, but the one I tagged you in, the one I mentioned, the Articuno from the Japanese promo, Articuno.
Yeah,
And it's an unhollow. Um, it is. It's just such a stunning piece of artwork with the mountains in the background. Um, and I mean, what pop? I can't remember what the pop report is. It's very low, but I mean, it's not a card that people know about at all. Anyway, I mean, even things like the McDonald's Mew, Sunset Mew. I don't think many people really know about that one. I mean, a lot of those McDonald's promos people don't. But I mean, there's such a huge variety of Japanese promos. I mean, most of them are all, yeah. Maybe that Squirtle I've got, the Squirtle from McDonald's when he's blowing the bubble. That's a lovely card, and still, once again, I mean, people know about it, but not a huge number of people know about that card.
I think that's the thing with Japanese cards is there's so many exclusive Japanese cards, and even in English, like there's so much Pokemon that it's almost impossible to know about everything. And I think that's why it remains so interesting. Like, even after collecting for 2 years, I find a card that I've never seen before, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I want that. How do I get it?
yeah, yeah. Well, that's what happened with Articuno. I mean, I was literally on eBay scrolling through Japanese promo cards, just seeing what was there, and then I saw the card, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta buy that." Yeah, I made an offer, and I got it. And no, it came in the post, and I was like, "I'm really glad I bought it." It's the only card from that set, from that promo set that I've got. No, I absolutely love it. And there's the Versus series promos are really nice. You've got there's an Entei which looks, I mean, is it Versus Rocket or something? I can't remember. But yeah, there's some of the Versus promos in Japanese are absolutely stunning. Really, really nice cards.
It's there is there is some English verses, isn't there? I think there's like a very small amount of it that was released,
Okay.
but most of it is completely exclusive.
Yeah, yeah,
So same as like the trainer series, like Lance's Charizard has been exclusive to Japanese for years, and then they're going to release it for the first time in the 25th anniversary set.
oh god, yeah.
That'll be a card that everyone wants, I think. But of course, it will. It's got Charizard on it. But what are your thoughts on the celebration set? Do you think it's going to be like a cool thing overall? I mean,
Well, because it's the anniversary set, it probably will be. I think it's, yeah. I there's still a lot that we don't know still, isn't there? Or have they given most of it away? I haven't really done my research on it yet.
a lot's been released in Japan. Like, well, they've
Yeah,
announced it in Japanese, but we don't know if it's going to be the same. Like, people are assuming that it's going to be exactly the same, but I'm not sure.
yeah. I thought that they might do a print of Neo the Lugia from Neo Genesis or something, but I don't think they are they?
No, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like they've gone like they've done well Gen 8 like gala versions of classic card designs.
Yeah,
So they're really
yeah.
cool. I think the Zacian's my favorite. The Zacian level X. Um, I like that one.
I haven't seen that card.
So
I do like these new alternate art cards. The like with the Galarian birds and the evolutions. They are beautiful cards. They're just very hard to pull.
I think the thing that Pokemon I think has been trying to do for years is bridging the gap between it being a card game and it being artwork. Like that's when they did like the Monk promos with like the Scream. Like
The what, sorry? Oh yeah, those.
the
Yeah, yeah,
Scream the
yeah,
Scream promos.
yeah,
Yeah, like they've been trying to bridge the gap between turning Pokemon cards into like a kid's card game into like a proper piece of art for years. And I think
yeah.
these all arts are really like swaying people. Like the Moltres, for example, is like it
Oh, it's
looks
stunning.
it looks so nice that it's not. I would not have that as a playable card. That is
No, you
literally
get it
an art
graded and
piece.
keep
Yeah,
it all slabbed in some way. Anyway, keep it protected for you to look at.
yeah. Like Pokemon have leaned really heavily into this. Like they know Pokemon know what everyone's doing. Like they know people are grading their cards. They know people are making large amounts of money out of grading cards and selling them. Like
Yeah,
they're not living under a rock. So they're leaning into this, and I'm quite enjoying it. Actually, like you said, they are
yeah,
incredibly hard to pull. And even
yeah,
if you
very
do,
hard.
they're incredibly off center. So
Yeah, I haven't bought any Chilling Reign actually. No, no. I'm probably not going to buy any more modern sets until Celebrations comes out, and then I'll have a think about it. But I'm probably going to stay away from Evolving Skies.
Yeah,
I don't know. I imagine because it's going to be the EV Heroes is going to be in that set, isn't it? The EV cards. Is that right?
yeah, they should be. Yeah,
Yeah. That. I mean, why would you call it Evolving Skies and put Evolutions in it? I know it's got a Rayquaza on the front. Do you call it Rayquaza or Rayquaza?
I call it Rayquaza.
Rayquaza, yeah.
But
Um,
apparently, according to the official Pokemon handbook, it is Rayquaza.
Rayquaza. Okay.
Yeah,
He is quite cool, actually. T Gen 3, isn't he?
yeah.
Yeah, he's quite cool. He's shiny Rayquaza. Actually, that that is a card. So yeah, this is a funny one. I was on eBay and I had a good bit of money on to spend on some cards at the time, and a Gold Star Rayquaza was up for sale, first edition Japanese in a PSA 10, and it was selling for it was under £1,000, and I I I really wish I'd bought it. I really wish because I was so on the verge of buying it. I literally had my hand on the buy now button, and then at the last second I chickened out and didn't buy it. I mean that car. I mean even the Japanese ones in the PSA 10 are so expensive now. Like just never ever going to own that card in the PSA 10 ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Sorry, going back to the EV thing. Yeah, it's a bit. I just think it's a bit of an odd way to call it Evolving Skies when you've got a whole lot of EV solutions in it.
Yeah, it seems to be that Pokemon are doing this thing now where they release sets that are deliberately named after previous sets.
Yeah,
So like Evolving Skies is just Roaring Skies, but with evolutions in it. And then
yeah, yeah,
the second set of Sword and Shield was Primal Clash, sorry Rebel Clash, and we'd already
yeah,
had Primal Clash.
yeah.
And then the whole like Shining Legends, Hidden Fates, Shining Fates, Hidden Legends thing. Like they have four sets
The,
that comprise of four different words.
so do you think the next set for the like will be Hidden Legends?
Well, Hidden Legends already exists.
Is it?
Yeah, it's an EX set.
When was that? Oh, that's okay. Okay.
Yeah, so
Uh,
they
yeah, yeah,
unfortunately they can't lose unless they start putting them together. Like Shining Hidden Legends is the next holiday set or something.
yeah.
But
It'd be nice. It'd be nice if they did another set like Hidden Fates, where they focused on maybe more on the Gen 2 stuff. Get a full art Shining Lugia, full art Shining Celebi.
yeah,
Get the Johto starters, Typhlosion, Feraligatr, Meganium, all the the cool the Pokemon that I like the most.
because we've never had a shiny Typhlosion, right? That's never been a
I
card that's been printed.
don't know. I don't know.
A lot, to be fair,
Yeah.
because the fully shiny sets we've had are the Call of Legends shinies, which were only legendaries, Hidden Fates and Shining Fates, and Shining Legends. But Shining Legends again is just legendaries, so like and mythicals, I guess. But like we need like another Hidden Fates, don't we? Like a Gen, maybe even if they did Gen 2 and 3 together.
Yeah,
Because
I think which. Oh, sorry. Carry on. Sorry.
just saying because Gen 2 is a little bit smaller than Gen 1, right? It's only 100 rather than
Yeah,
150.
yeah. Well, 151.
Yeah,
Not new. Yeah. I was thinking. There's a Pokemon that hasn't been printed for a while, and that's Pichu, isn't it?
yeah.
Pichu.
They've printed one for Hot since Hot Gold, Soul Silver, I think.
Oh god. So I think that they should put that in. I'd love a full art shiny Pichu.
Yeah, I mean, I
Pichu GX.
I know
Shiny Pichu GX.
other people would want that too. Like there are literally Pokemon that have been printed once ever, and
Yeah.
it's mainly the Gen 4 baby Pokemon like Bonsly, Mantike. They've only been printed once.
Yeah.
It's just like how could I'm pretty sure that a lot of people who started collecting Pokemon in the last year don't actually know what these Pokemon are because they've never seen them.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Togepi as well. I mean, that was printed recently in Sun and Moon, wasn't it? With the Cleffa and uh,
Igglybuff, yeah.
Igglybuff, yeah. But I mean, I think that's another one. Togepi in as a full art shiny would be extremely popular as well.
I think that's just really the thing is it's like Pokemon have so much content that they could make.
Yeah,
Um, they're so great at generating hype is that they won't print a Pichu for another like 2 years, and then
yeah,
just as you think they've forgotten about it, they will do what you said, do like a full art Pichu, or like it'll be the secret rare in a random set, like a shiny Pichu, or something.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they the Squirtle when has Squirtle been printed much recently? I don't
Um,
see Squirtle very often.
no, not really.
No, but Charmander obviously is always in there, and yeah, but where's Charmander? I guess. Um, yeah,
It is weird when you kind of think like the Gen 2 and Gen 3 starters are not really printed that much. The fact that they've not had none of them have had a shiny is kind of strange.
yeah. Well, you had it requires there was a promo card in Hidden Fates, wasn't it? The shiny requires that. I never got that card actually.
No,
Kind
me
of wish I
neither.
had. I kind of wish I had, but I can't bother to pay. Bothered, yeah, I can't bother to buy it. Actually, I missed my chance. And just leave it. It is a lovely card.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I want a shiny Growlithe because it's me. But like, even like a shiny Growlithe would be wildly popular. Like it's a gold shiny. Everyone loves gold shinies.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
but yeah, there's just so much that Pokemon can do, and like basically forever to do it in
yeah,
because Pokemon are such a big franchise that almost nothing at this point could sink them.
yeah,
Pokemon will probably be popular for the next, well, just to however long they really want to be, I guess.
yeah. Well, it took them long enough to do a proper open world RPG, which is finally happening.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I showed my brother. We're massive Zelda fans, and I showed him the trailer for the new Pokemon game, and even he was like, "Wow, that looks like sort of trying to be." It's not as good a graphics, same graphics as Breath of the Wild, but it's that sort of same. In his head, he's got the same idea. There'll be lots of mini quests, and which is what we as when we play video games, we like the open world small quests along with the main quests. Those are the sorts of games I like. So I'm really, really excited for Legends Arceus. Really, really excited.
Yeah, I hope that you have like even a side quest could be literally like go and catch this Pokemon in this place because we need it for this reason.
Yeah,
Like I think it'd be nice because obviously completing the Pokedex is something that you're told to do in all of the Pokemon games, but no, very few people actually do it
yeah,
because there's no real incentive. Like if you complete the Pokedex in like Gen 1, you literally get like told well done. That's it.
yeah. Well, if you were on your own and you had it like back in the day, if you played, on the Game Boy, and you literally were on your own playing the game, you'd never be able to complete it anyway, would you? Because you need to trade with someone who's got the other game to get that Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
it's the same with like with I played Gen 3 a lot, and like so in Emerald, if you complete the Pokedex, which is 386 Pokemon, you
yeah,
literally get like an in-game certificate, and that's it. Like it can take you hundreds of hours to do it, and then they're like, "Oh, here's a virtual piece of paper to say well done." At least nowadays you get in Sword and Shield you get the shiny charm, which like halves the odds of getting a shiny. So
yeah.
a lot
It's
a
all
lot.
about those new the games like Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu, and well, actually the new one, obviously Sword and Shield, is it's shiny hunting, isn't it? You've got these people that are YouTubers. I never watch it, but they literally spend their life trying to catch every single shiny that they can. Um, and I tried to get a shiny Noctowl, and I gave up so quickly. I was like, I just can't do this. It's going to take too much of my time up.
Yeah, it's considerably easier in the Let's Go games because you can actually see
Oh
them.
yeah, Yeah, exactly.
But
That's the other thing is you don't see it in Sword and Shield in the Sword and Shield one, but you do see it in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee.
yeah, in Let's Go, I got a shiny Growlithe because I actively searched for it. It took me like 3 days, and then I got a shiny Oddish just randomly.
Mm,
Um, but apart from that, I've not had any others.
yeah, I got shiny Caterpie because I love shiny Butterfree.
Yeah,
So I had to get, yeah, shiny Butterfree is just like one of my favorite shinies from Gen 1. And I think which was the other one I got? Oh, I can't remember. I got something else. But I just, after I got a few shinies, I just gave up. I was like, I just can't do this anymore. It's, shiny hunting's just too much effort.
yeah, it's a struggle. Like I've tried it a few times as well. It's just like I once you get sort of like 100, 200 encounters in, you're like, this is taking forever. And I probably should do something better with my time.
Yeah, yeah. Start getting hungry. You need to eat. You can forget how much time's gone by when you're like 3 hours in. You're still doing your times. I don't know. You have to get like 36 combos or something, don't you? And then
Yeah, like,
even after you've done that, you've still got to keep looking and looking and looking.
I think I when I did got the shiny Growlithe on Let's Go, I think it took me like 260 in a row to get it. It literally took me all day.
Wow.
But
I knew someone where I used to live got shiny Mewtwo, and I can't. But he said it took him like, I mean, ages to get it. And I can't remember how long it was, but it was a ridiculous amount of time. And I just thought, how can you do that? Trying to get the shiny Mewtwo.
there's quite a few videos online on YouTube of people who like beat Pokemon games, but they can only use shinies. So the first like 6 or so hours of the game is just literally constantly resetting until you get a shiny starter. And even then, you don't get to choose which one you want because you have to choose the shiny one.
Yeah,
So, but no, it's I can see why it's interesting, but like at the same time,
yeah.
it's not something I think I can dedicate my life to.
No, no. Quite liked catching shinies in literally in Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
On your phone. I actually stopped playing it because it wasn't necessarily it was sort of taking up too much of my time, but I ended up moving out of town into the middle of nowhere before lockdown. I'm still living in the middle of nowhere, and just I can't play it. I'd have to spend so much money in order to play that game because there's no spawn sites anywhere where I live. I just can't play it.
yeah, I had a similar problem at my parents' house. Like it's not really in the middle of nowhere, but like the same three Pokemon spawn literally all the time.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
either have to, you know, walk for 20 minutes to go and find something good, or like yeah, pay for
yeah,
like incenses or whatever. I still
yeah,
when I because I'm in Nottingham. Like when I go from my house onto campus, it's like there's loads of stuff there. So I still play it occasionally, but I don't play it nearly
yeah,
as much as I used to, just because my thing was completing the Pokédex.
yeah.
Um, and I've reached a point now where, like, for majority of the Pokemon, they're either regional specific or they're just really, really hard to find.
Yeah, I enjoyed it because when I was living in town, I used to live in a small town called a place called Haddington near Edinburgh, and there was a small group of us that met up and played. It was just nice to meet and socialize with people, and everyone was actually quite nice who played. That was one of the things I actually liked about Pokemon Go was when you did raids and stuff, and you team, you got to meet people. Who we were all interested in the same thing. And that's one of the things I did like about Pokemon Go. I mean, I'm never going to probably won't see them much ever again, really, because I don't live anywhere near them anymore. But it was nice. I enjoyed it. It was a really good time.
Yeah, no, I had a similar thing where, like, you know, I had a friend who was much more into it than me, and he would invite me to these raids, and I just meet, random people. A lot of them, like, were, staff, and some were students and stuff, and it was pretty cool. But
Mm,
yeah, I feel like the community spirit's gone a little bit from Pokemon Go. It's still there for a lot of people, but um, I think people aren't as actively interested anymore. But
I
the
think
game,
there's too many updates going on to it. And there's too much too often. I don't know. That's one of the things that I got annoyed was the amount of updates coming up, and I just couldn't keep up with it, really. And especially if you move, you just can't do them anyway. Like you can't do any of the challenges if you've got no Pokestop to spin or no gyms to go near, or nothing spawning around you, and you have to release an incense in order for something to spawn. And if you want incense, you have to buy them all the time, which costs money. Which is, you just can't do that.
It's kind of reached the point that most like free to play kind of games do, where like I can either dedicate lots and lots of time or dedicate money to it, and I don't really want to do either. So I'm kind of just in a position now where I'm just like, I'll play it if I want for a few hours, but I never really achieve very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I always forget that the game came out over 5 years ago. At this, well, nearly 5 years ago
Yeah,
at
I
this
know.
point. So like, it's had a very good run, and it's still as popular as ever for a lot of people. So
Still very popular at the moment. I mean, you see all the people on Instagram still sending photos of the shinies they catch, which is good to see it's still being played, quite a bit.
yeah, I kind of left when they announced like the competitive like PvP aspect of it. I was like, I couldn't really get into that because I don't want to play Pokemon Go competitively. I know you can just
How
ignore it.
long ago
But
was that? Because I think I stopped a little bit after that.
I think it was.
I think I stopped about a year. Where are we? I think I stopped about a year ago or so.
Yeah, I think it was maybe a year and a half ago that they
Yeah,
introduced it.
yeah. I think I did stop about just over a year ago. I stopped playing, or just under a year ago. Anyway, I'm glad I did. It was taking too much of my time up. Um, it's yeah. Well, anyway, I did have when I was we had a community Instagram messenger account, and my nickname was Shiny King, which was quite fun because I always caught I caught so many shinies like all the time. Like I was lucky, very very lucky. So I got the nickname Shiny King.
I remember when community days used to like not be the same time around the world like they are now. They used to be like you'd get 3 hours in your, and it would rotate. So I'd be out
Yeah.
at like 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning trying to catch shinies on my own in the rain. My
Oh,
go
so you could pick the time that you wanted to do it rather than it being a fixed time.
No, so it used to be a fixed time, but like it was a fixed time. Nowadays, community days are 11 till 5 for everyone, um,
Okay.
and before that they
Okay.
used to be like
Yeah.
12 till 3 for everyone. But they used to have three
Yeah.
hours, and they'd be like rotating around the world. So like
Yeah.
in the UK, it would always be 9 until 12, and it would always
Yeah.
be a Saturday morning. So like I'd
Yeah.
wake up early on a Saturday morning, go and walk around and try and catch some shinies.
They were fun community days because shinies are so easy now to get. Which was the first community day I did. First community day I did was when not was the first evolution of Piloswine, uh, Piloswine.
Swim up.
Swin yeah, Swin community day was the first community day I did. I was down in the south of England with my now wife, and she was introducing me to her. I actually they had an earthquake when I was there that week. Um, but yeah, there was a community day in the local village, and the spawn rate was unbelievable. It was quite fun. But yeah, we had an earthquake. That was interesting. The whole house shook.
Yeah, you don't get very many UK earthquakes.
No, near the Gatwick Airport. It was either Gatwick or Gatwick Airport, near Gatwick Airport.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think my first one was actually Charmander Community Day. Maybe it wasn't because I missed the first couple, and then I did basically everyone for like 2 years. Um, but like I missed the original Dratini one and the original Magikarp one, and they were like the two that you know, everyone wanted for like literally like a year,
Yeah.
and then I missed
You
them
could
because like
you could trade a shiny Mewtwo for a shiny Magikarp.
yeah,
So like people love shiny Magikarp.
yeah they've had like another one since, and they did like a catch up day as well. So everyone's got one now,
Yeah.
I think. you know, who
Yeah,
can,
I'm pretty sure I did the catch up day or something equivalent. I got quite a few one day of the shiny Magikarp.
yeah, Pokemon Go still a huge thing. It's
Mm.
just a testament to how much people actually like Pokemon, though, isn't it? It's like a game that, especially a lot of people now, like they're releasing Pokemon that are from games they haven't even played, and they're still like actively going out and trying to catch them all.
Yeah.
But they're still quite far behind. They're only at Gen 6, right? So they've still got Gen 7 and 8.
Yeah, well, they were on Gen. Oh God, was it Gen end of? They just started, maybe about to start Gen 5 when we stopped playing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have stopped for that reason. It's because like if they release a Pokemon you don't know, or not even that, if you just ones you don't care about, then you're less inclined to
Yeah.
go out and search for them when when you see them, you see the silhouette on your radar at like 9 o'clock at night. You're like, do I go and get it? Probably not.
No, I think that's when I got a bit after Gen 3. I just the Gen 4 came out. So I don't know these Pokemon really. Rather just trying to stick with the first, second, and third gen. I do like Gen 3. Quite like is Greninja in Gen 3 or is that
No,
Gen 4?
Greninja's Gen 6.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Greninja's quite a late one.
Righty. See, I just don't see that. You think you know it all, but you don't. Greninja. I like Greninja actually. He's quite cool.
I think it's. I think a lot of people think it's older because it's so popular. Like Greninja is probably like one of the really really popular Pokemon from Gen 6. So
Mm.
X and Y, Greninja.
Really?
Yeah,
Wasn't he? Ash had Greninja, didn't he?
yeah. Has its own like it has its own form. Like when the bond between Ash and Greninja got strong enough, it
Yeah,
basically
yeah. I
turned
think
into
I
him.
did watch that. I think I did watch that. Um, yeah.
I really liked X
Wasn't
and Y.
Greninja was a baddie in Detective Pikachu, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Well, they got no, it wasn't necessarily
well,
baddie. They wasn't there like the thing that made them go crazy.
yeah. It was like trying to hunt them down or something. I watched that in the cinema actually. It's a good movie.
Well, I like the voice. Ryan Reynolds' voice is good. Quite funny with the Pikachu.
The
But yeah,
worst,
no,
yeah,
I do like. I actually did quite enjoy it. It's quite. I thought Mr. Mime was quite good. I like Mr. Mime.
yeah. When I went, I thought I'd be like the oldest person there, but there was like a lot of people similar age to me that were just there at the same time. The only
Yeah,
downside is
I
that
what?
the only
Sorry.
downside is my cinema didn't have the booster packs. So
Ah,
when I went, I did get like free cards, but it's actually one of the few
yeah,
sets I've completed. Detective Pikachu.
yeah, yeah. I don't have any of those. I decided no, I did actually no. I bought the Charizard. This was ages ago. I bought the Charizard. I sent stuff for grading. Came back a 10. Sold it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually got lucky. I packed the Charizard, and it's like the only really expensive card in the whole set. So I just bought the other like 6 or 7 cards I needed
Mm.
after opening a few packs. So yeah, I actually got the Detective Pikachu promo card from one of the boxes at PSA right now. So hopefully that is okay.
Yeah. Did you get them graded? Did you say?
Not all of them, just the Detective Pikachu one.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I just got them in a binder. I don't really,
Uh,
I don't really complete full sets, but I've got a few. Like I'd actually say a few. I've got like 2, and it's Detective Pikachu, and I have a full master set of Steam Siege because I thought it would be fun, and I realised that
yeah. Well, people. This is the thing. Like, I think at one point, Evolutions was becoming a little bit less because it was so heavily printed. And then suddenly, when the prices just skyrocketed. I mean, I don't think Steam Siege will ever do well, but you never know. You never know.
Steam Siege does have shiny Pokemon in it though. So
Yeah, you never know. You just never know. Um,
yeah,
it could one day a cut upset. It doesn't have an Alakazam or something in it.
uh, no, that's a different set. It's got a Gardevoir in it.
Okay, okay. Which one's got Alakazam?
That is
Uh,
Fates Collide, I think.
okay,
Is it?
okay,
Is it?
okay.
Is it Fates Collide? Is it
I
ancient?
don't know. I never really got into into that era. I
Yeah,
think
like
the set that just come out when I got in was had tag team like Venusaur and Celebi.
okay, yeah.
Um, which set was that?
Um,
Had Sun and Moon the tag team Celebi and Venusaur.
uh, Team Up maybe.
Yeah, it might have been Team Up. I think it was about then. Um,
It's one of those, or maybe Unbroken Bonds. I'm not sure.
yeah, no,
Uh,
I think it was Team Up because Unbroken Bonds, that was the one with the Reshiram Zard, wasn't it? Which I actually did pull. I pulled that card, which was very exciting. Pulled it out of an ETB. I sent it for grading. It came back a 10. That was very exciting.
yeah, I really like XY. XY is my favorite era
Mm,
because I didn't collect when I was a kid.
yeah,
Like I don't have the nostalgia for like Gen 1 and 2. Like Generation 3 is my favorite generation, but XY like it's my favorite card era. Um,
yeah,
I personally think it's still quite underappreciated. Like there are certain cards in it, like the full art Lugia from Ancient Origins is really expensive because it's cool. But there's
yeah. No, I keep meaning actually that's one card I wouldn't actually mind having. Quite like to did because those Pikachu promos were all from X and Y, weren't they? Did you ever get those?
no, I didn't get any of those.
They're really fun, aren't they? They're really.
Yeah,
I haven't got any of them, but they are very fun. And the Pikachu, Mario, and Luigi ones as well. They're really popular.
yeah they went up really quickly in price. They were very cheap. Well, not very cheap, but they were relatively cheap for a long time. Like under $200-300 pounds whatever for the box. And then I
Yeah,
think as soon as people realised how like difficult they were to get hold of, and how cool they are, they skyrocketed and they're like it's like 5 grand for the box now.
I mean it's ridiculous, so expensive. But yeah, those exclusive promos that come out, I generally buy them when as soon as I can, because I mean the swallowed Pikachu, I bought the box for that, but I think within 2-3 weeks later, the price had quadrupled of the box.
Yeah,
I actually sent that card. It's beautiful. It's really flawless. I sent it to Beckett, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
I'm a every day that like every day I have to wait extra for PSA. Like it gets a little bit less, like a little bit more depressing, but also like I'm a little bit more excited.
But your submissions is potentially not that far away, is it? No, they may possibly within the 2 months,
Um,
possibly.
yeah, it was July standard, and I know that
Yeah,
I say a few people have said that they've got July returns back already, but
yeah,
equally there's people from May who are still waiting for theirs. So like it seems like a bit of the order's a bit random because it's not
yeah.
first in first out. So
Yeah, mine was October. No, November. Mine was November submission.
so
I've got a
yeah.
long wait.
Hopefully when mine start coming back, it'll be because I have July, August, September, October, November, January, and February.
Yeah,
So hopefully when one starts coming back, they all will start coming back relatively. Like hopefully one a month. Hopefully maybe less if they get their act together and start increasing the amount that they're grading. But it doesn't. From what I've heard, it doesn't seem like PSA have really much increased the volume that they're grading a day. Just
yeah,
they have less cards to actually grade because they're not receiving as many.
yeah. But they're still. I mean, that Celebi promo, the full art one. That's all. You can buy that on eBay in a PSA 10. And that's what been out for. It's not been out for very long. So I mean, uh, yeah, they're still. I mean, obviously they're going to be grading, but you think that they would just focus on really trying to get the standard submissions up and running up to yeah. Yeah. I was quite lucky. I did manage to get mine off before the prices went up quite a bit. Mine were I think it was 8-9 quid a card or something at the time when I sent mine off.
Yeah, all of
Like,
all of mine were that.
yeah,
Some were a bit less. I think the lowest I paid was like $7.99 a card.
yeah. I can't remember the full price, but I mean compared to what the prices are now, it was a lot cheaper. Um, yeah, so expensive, and like I said, I really, I'm really dreading if I don't have much of a build pay, it means my grades are all rubbish, which gives it away. But if I've got a high grade, then if I've got a high build pay for value, insurance, then I know that I've got good grades. But at the same time, it's like, could be quite expensive.
Yes, it's one of those things like if you're keeping them, like if you're grading them to keep, like the value charge is a little bit annoying just to like to have to pay, isn't it? But like
Well,
if
I
you're
also think it's a bit unfair that I think they should have done it when when they started charging from when the submissions started arriving, not because some people have got like first edition cards out there, and they've sent them out ages before this was announced, and suddenly like, oh, by the way, you're now going to have to get charged this. Like, well, no one told me that.
yeah, one of the best of XY cards I sent when I sent it, it was like £50. One sold a few weeks ago for like £1,100 in a 10.
Yeah.
So like I went from having definitely no value charge to potentially having like a £30-40 value charge, which is a little bit irritating. If I sell it, then that's fine because I can recoup the cost. But if I don't, then just kind of have to like eat the cost. But I guess it at the time it wasn't so annoying because PSA offered like a faster service than like Beckett did, for example.
Yeah.
But now you have to pay the same amount. You have to wait the same amount of time, and Beckett don't charge you regardless of what you submit.
Yeah.
So you can submit a first edition Charizard on their like basic service, and they won't charge you anything extra, even if it comes back like a pristine 10.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's one of the things I'm actually quite. I've got. I haven't got anything. Is there anything hugely valuable? Not necessarily. I've sent cards literally to Beckett that I think have a chance of getting a pristine 10. And most of them are actually the Pokemon Silver and Gold playing cards. But I've sent like Umbreon artwork, Espeon artwork, Lugia artwork, Pikachu. Popular artworks, right? Because there's so many different artworks on there.
Yeah.
The cards I mean, don't you? Yeah. I was actually quite surprised because you're not guaranteed. You are guaranteed a Lugia in Pokemon Silver, and you're guaranteed a Joker Pikachu, and I think the starters are guaranteed as well. But I mean, everything else I think is just random, as far as I'm aware. Oh. I didn't get because you can get Gengar. I opened 4 of those packets, and I didn't get a single Gengar.
I didn't know they were random. I thought that
you
just got
you
like
can get
different
arts in them. I got 1 Magikarp, which was unfortunately off-centered. Yeah, and I got 2 Growlers. I think I got 2 Growlers. But yeah, they're not. You're not guaranteed certain artworks in the packets. I don't think anyway. From when I open them.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I recently made a small purchase for some sports boxes to open. Because I like sports cards, but I can't afford like the proper high end ones because they just cost far too much. Even like the basic ones there, because of the like competitiveness of getting them and charging them up. Like in the UK especially, they're really expensive. So I bought some MLS cards from America. Hopefully should be here in like a week or 2. They were like £50 for like 2 boxes with all of the imports and shipping and stuff. So that it'll be fun to open something like where you not only have the interestingness and like the interest of it not being the same cards every time, but also you have like numbered variants and stuff. I wonder if it'll dissuade me from opening Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm terrible at keeping things keeping sealed products sealed. I'm quite the Dalmatian packet you sent me, which I've never opened one of those before. So I was just looking at thinking, do I open it or should I just keep it sealed? And I'm like, actually, I'll just keep it sealed. I think it's because it's non-Pokemon related. I'm probably better at keeping it sealed. Pokemon stuff, I just have to open it. That's why I don't have any vintage sealed packs in my collection. I don't buy them because I'll just open them.
Yeah, no, I would too. That's why I don't have any either. Because
Yeah.
like, I think that's the reason I would never buy like a light pack, because I would definitely buy it to at some point down the line open it. And
Yeah.
if I bought a light pack, I'd be like, well, what's the point? I know people want them as like display pieces. I totally get that, but like I would only buy vintage product to open it, and it's just not
Yeah.
like it's not financially viable anymore to do that.
Yeah.
Even sets that came
Um,
out like 5 years ago aren't even like financially viable anymore.
yeah. No, absolutely. I've got a Magic the Gathering Elite Trainer box back at my other house, which um, back at home, my other home, and I've kept that sealed. I've actually also got from my childhood. I've got 3 boxes of sealed Warhammer, and they're worth nothing, which is funny because I mean they're the same age as I've had them as long as I've had my Pokemon cards from my childhood, and they're still sealed. And I think I've got 2 boxes of Space Marines. One's just the soldiers, and one is on the bike. And then I've got a box of Plague Marines, which I think to a Warhammer collector is quite a big one because they don't make them any. Plague Marines don't exist anymore. They stopped making them a while ago. But they're still like, I paid £5 for the box. The box is still worth a fiver.
It's weird how certain things go up. Like I've got a while ago I was buying and then selling the Pokemon Series 1 stickers on my eBay.
Mm.
And like you can buy a box of them. They were made in 1999. You can buy an entire sealed box. Well, they're just taped shut. They're not really sealed, but like an entire box for like 26, £27.
Yeah,
Works out less than like £1 a pack. It's just like
yeah,
I don't understand why they're not worth more, but they're just, I guess they produce so many of them that they're everywhere. I mean, I bought them from Germany, and I think they had 2,000 boxes for sale at one point.
really.
So like,
Wow.
there's no shortage of them.
Yeah. The other one is the Shikishi artwork things I've been buying, and they're like £10 each for most £10 to £20 just for one of the cards. I mean, it's just a bit of cardboard with the artwork on it. They're really lovely. And I think the boosters are like 20 quid, 20 to £30 each or something. Booster packs, and they're
Yeah,
from they're vintage. I mean, they're back from when around the time of Neo came out, I think.
yeah, you can grade those as well. I think.
Yeah, well, you can now because Rhyme Style asked PSA to if they could grade them, and that was a year ago also, I think, and he got them back. I tried to get the Lugia was there on eBay when I looked into it, and I literally was pressed pay now on PayPal, and someone had beaten me to it by like a second, and I haven't seen another one pop up since then. And I was really really frustrated because it was in really good condition as well, because I really wanted the Lugia, and I haven't seen one since. But I literally went buy now, went to PayPal, logged in, went to pay now, and as I pressed pay now and it started to go through, it said something went wrong, and then it went in, this item is no longer available. Oh dear.
That's what it was like when I tried to buy Shining Fates when it was announced.
Yeah. Oh, the worst one for me was I very nearly did get a first edition Charizard, um, and it was in good condition. It was a decent price at the time. This was 3 years ago, and I literally pressed pay now, and then it said something went wrong, and it said you missed out on this item, and it was a really really good price. And no, yeah, after that, it just never got a good opportunity for a card like that again. I ended up actually buying with that money a Shadowless Charizard in the first edition, Shadowless Blastoise, which I got graded, which I think came back 5 and 6 or something. The Charizard came back a 5, and the Blastoise came back a 6. But I wish I got that first edition one.
Yeah, I don't really buy much off eBay anymore. I used to buy a lot. It's mainly just because I don't. Well, partly I don't know what I want, because if I start buying one thing, I'll buy everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And I also
I
just
have cut down on eBay a bit.
like I don't have the money to buy everything I want right now. Like
Yeah.
I like niche things, and I just like if I see something I like, I'll just sort of like I want that. There's no kind of rhyme or reason to like I don't complete sets or really. Um, not PSA wise. Like I will, you know, like the other day I realized I had every hollow from Shining Legends apart from two, so I just bought the two I needed. But like they cost £2 each, so it wasn't really a huge deal. But like
Yeah. Yeah.
I you know I initially my plan was to try and get every Growlithe in English ever printed and then send them all off to PSA at the same time and grade them. Um, but after they, you know, it's not going to be something I do anytime soon
No.
because sourcing them all is difficult, and then you know waiting a year to get them graded and paying £30 for each one when there's like 25 of them is not something I really want to commit to financially right now.
No, no. Would you not send them to one of the UK grading companies if it was for a bit of fun?
Uh, yeah, probably. It depends. Like, if I had them in like mint condition, I probably would wait and send them to PSA. But like a lot of the ones I have really
Yeah.
really aren't in mint condition, and that's fine because they're just for a binder.
Yeah. I mean, I quite enjoy sending some of the modern cards and obviously my childhood cards. And if you've got a really good card that's in really good condition from, you know, that's vintage or even modern, you do want to send it to Beckett or PSA because you want that value and you want that insurance, you want that insurance that's, you know what I mean though. But I mean, at the end of the day, we don't know what's going to happen with the UK grading companies. I mean, now is a good time to actually get cards graded through them and hold on to them because if one of them happens to become good, then your card's going to go the value because currently, most PSA 10s aren't worth a huge amount, but the price will go up if that company starts to get a name for itself. Like CGC, they started grading Pokemon cards not that long ago. I think this is right, and they weren't their prices have slowly people are paying more and more for their graded cards now.
Yeah, all
Although
it takes is that
CGC was a recognized grading company, but it never graded Pokemon cards.
I guess all it takes really is that you know you build up that reputation that your grading is fair
Mm.
and accurate, and once you've done
Yeah,
that, then your prices will slowly go up.
yeah.
Because
I'll be interested to see. So I sent 5 cards to PokeGrade. I sent they were premium file starters, and they were pack fresh. I knew they wouldn't get a 10, but I thought they would get maybe nines and eights. And 3 of them got a 7, and 2 of them got an 8, which surprised me. But I've got 3, so I've got the other 4 cards. I've got the Totodile is at Beckett because the centering was perfect, and I thought it was perfect. And the Typhlosion, I think they're all from the same file. The Typhlosion, Meganium, and for Alligator at PSA, the Hollow promos,
yeah,
and they're all predicted 9s, 10s, 9 to 10.
I've actually got a full set at PSA.
Oh really?
Yeah, I've got a full set, and then so I bought two of the files when they were like £20 each last year.
Yeah,
So I graded like a full. I graded the 3 hollows in my July submission, and then I graded a full set in my August submission. Um, and then hopefully they should be okay.
those cards are cheap in a PSA 10 still. Well, they're not cheap, but they're compared to other cards, they're not expensive.
Yeah, like in a 9, they're really cheap. They're like 40,
30
£50.
quid,
Yeah.
40 quid, yeah. PSA 10 Typhlosion's like 120, I think. Is that right? The Typhlosion, the PSA 10 is
Yeah,
120 quid.
they're not that much at all, are they?
No, no, they're not much at
I
all.
just really like them.
I think they're fantastic, and value for money. Value. If you want the art, when you get that in a first edition and a PSA 10 in English, it's add a 0 on the end and put a few more digits on the one.
Yeah,
A little bit more expensive.
I am. I also graded the premium 2 file as well. Like the reverse Charizard, I think is the only Charizard I've really liked that's ever been printed.
Yeah, I've got that at PSA. I bought both those files. I think I paid roughly the same as you, like 30 quid a file. And I've sent all the Charizard and the Pichu, isn't there Pichu? And
Yeah,
some other stuff. Yeah, they're all at PSA.
yeah. I said there's the Charizard, the Pichu, the Entei, and then I sent the Eevee, the Umbreon, and the Espeon as well. Although
Yeah.
I sent the Espeon, I sent out the Espeon in January, but the other two I sent in August. I don't know quite why I waited so long. I think I just forgot
Yeah.
about it, but
I
eventually
sent
they'll.
my EV. I sent my EV Umbreon Espeon to Beckett.
Yeah,
Bit of a bold move.
I don't know. Mine look really good. I probably if I knew more about Becky at the time, I would have sent stuff there. But
Yeah.
I was PSA all the way at the start because it actually took me quite a few months to build up the courage to actually submit any cards at all. Like I could have submit before they closed for COVID, but I wasn't sure about like because this was back when the time where like Graded Gem weren't used by like as many people as they are now.
Mm.
So I wasn't particularly sure like how to go about it, and how reputable they were and stuff. And then by the time I realised that it was fine, it was July.
Yeah.
And if I'd have submitted, I would have had them back by now. But you live and you learn.
Yeah.
I'll get them.
Well,
I'll get them back
I didn't
eventually.
know anything about the. Sorry. Carry on.
I just said I'll get them back eventually. Like it's not that big a deal.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was a bit more nervous about black label grading, and actually, well, I'm not anymore. I mean, they're fantastic. Actually, really, they're they are very helpful, and actually, they get back to you so quickly. But they were, once I found out about them, they've been pretty good actually all the way through. I've got another load of cards ready to send to them once I can, but that might not be for a while until Beckett reopens. But I want to send that Espeon promo from EV Heroes over to Beckett. It's a beautiful card.
Yeah, does that come in the box that
Yeah,
they released?
yeah, the really expensive box. It
Well,
is a lovely box.
if it gets a black label, it'll be worth it.
Well, if it did get a black label, I mean, they black label grading have literally only had their first black label come back.
Yeah, I saw
So
that.
the odds aren't great, but you never know. You never know.
It was
Um,
it was John coming on the podcast. It was a good omen. He said that they hadn't had one, and then like 2 weeks later they had one.
yeah, no, I'm very excited for the whoever got it. Well done to them. It's must be so exciting. Um, I have a feeling I don't know if I'll get a black label, but I do think I'll get a few. I do think I'll get some pristine tens when with my submission. Because everything I've sent is very. I mean, I think some of the stuff like the Pikachu promo, the Pikachu Joker cards, and a couple of one of the Lugias is a bit off center, but I don't care. I mean, if it's graded, it'll be worth something, and if I've got multiples, then I can sell one of them and keep the other. But there's a lot of cards in that submission I've sent that are very very well centered. There's no markings on the back at all. And there'll be plenty of 9.5s, and probably a few pristine tens, and you never know. Maybe get one or two black labels if I'm lucky, but we'll see what happens.
Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck.
I think that's probably a good spot to end it.
Yeah, yeah.
But we'll just quickly go for Route 101. So, what is one thing that you could really be happy if it just wasn't a part of collecting Pokemon or collecting things in general?
I think one of the things that really irritates me on Instagram is I mean, I hate scalpers, but that's already been mentioned quite a few times. I don't mind the raffles as long as they're not stupidly expensive ones. But I don't like it when you get Instagram users that literally like every single one of your photos, and then expect you to follow them, and then but they're never going to follow you back. Or the fact that you get Instagram users that basically follow you so that you follow them, and then they unfollow you. It's one of those things that really, really irritates me, and I just wish people would stop doing that.
I remember when I was like, I had like maybe 100 less than that followers. Like if everyone liked a lot of my posts, I'd always give them like a shout out, and then I was like, does it doesn't really do anything? Like I can understand if I was like a really big account,
Yeah,
but like I don't think that anyone follows me that doesn't already follow this person. So
yeah.
yeah, no,
No, I think if you're gonna, I mean, I like the fact that I have a lot of followers, but I think only you should only follow someone. Like I follow someone if I like their post, or I generally actually quite often follow someone if they're UK related, if they're UK stated. Um, but yeah, if I like the post or if they're UK, but I never unfollow someone if I follow them.
yeah,
Not that I know. Not that I think there might be one per. If I've unfollowed someone, it's just because maybe been annoyed with them or something. But I've never unfollowed someone because they haven't followed me.
yeah. No, I agree. Like I don't. If I follow someone, there is no obligation for them to follow me back
Yeah,
because
exactly,
it means that I like what I like what they do. They don't necessarily have to like what I post on my feed or
exactly,
whatever.
exactly. So yeah, guys, if you follow someone, don't expect them to necessarily follow you back, and if they don't, then don't. You don't have to unfollow them. You follow someone because you want to follow them. That's what I have to say really on that part.
No, I think that's fair. So yeah, thanks for joining me. It's been a lovely
Thank you
chat.
very much. Yeah, no, that's hour and 43 minutes, hour and
Yeah,
44 minutes. Great. I might have to listen to that when I've got to do some work outdoors, so I might just listen to that when I'm working.
yeah. I listen.
Hear myself mumbling away.
Well, I listen to I listen to almost all of the podcasts back to make sure there's no like audio issues or whatever. So I listen to
Yeah,
all of them. You know, once at least I've record them and then listen to them again.
yeah,
And I don't mind them, so hopefully other people don't either.
yeah. Well, anyway, thank you very much for that. That was it's been a great chat, really good chat.
No, it's been good. Thanks for coming on. Do you
No
want to
problem.
just tell everyone where they can find you on Instagram?
Yeah. I am at Pokemon underscore Monroe 001. I also have, if anyone's interested, I do have a YouTube channel, but it's fishing related, and it's Avron underscore fly fisher. It's not, I have 100 subscribers, but if you like fishing, have a look at that. One of my other massive hobbies. It's all fly fishing.
Well, my dad listens to the podcast and he's very much into fishing, so I'm sure he'll follow it if no one else
Yeah.
does. But yeah, thanks for joining me once again, and thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you
I'll
very much.
I'll be back next week most likely, with a new guest. But again, I don't plan far enough ahead, so I don't know who that's going to be. So yeah, thank you, and I will see you next week.